Folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're back for another episode of Always Almost There. Day after show live. We are here today. Yes, we got lodged last night in a big way. Very, very exciting. Danny Rosewood's coming in hot. Just went live. We're here in Chicago, getting ready for night 3. D, you're looking very fresh today. You're pampering yourself again.
Yep, had to. You gotta make sure anytime you got the hometown run, take care of yourself.
I love it.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing? Yeah,
I'm doing all right. I didn't have a schwitz today. Just saying.
Unexpected.
You get the call. Schwitz.
Yeah, you get the call at like 2 a.m. Maybe we'll go schwitz it in the morning for a brunch. I'm like, sign me up.
yeah, man. Let's go. Well, we had a great show last night. Once again, absolutely phenomenal night back at the Salt Shed. I was lucky enough to get up way closer than I normally do, just by fluke. Shout out to Dylan and Blair, who invited me up.
Oh, nice. I was wondering who you were with.
Third row, Trevor side. Phenomenal spot. Not a lot of chomping up there, which was amazing because from some of the videos I saw and from what you guys were saying, the chomping was still pretty bad back by the soundboard, similar to what it was on Wednesday. D, were you in the same spot that we were on Wednesday night?
Yep. Same situation, kind of getting in, really fun. It was nice to be back. And I think anytime you get a 3-night run, I'm sure it was the same for Boston. You start to like settle in night 2 and night 3 as well. And so, yeah, really, really was nice. Enjoyed getting down there. Another beautiful evening, and then just posted up just right a soundboard with a couple other friends of the pod. Good folks. Had a few others come down for the show last night that weren't there Wednesday, so that was good. I'm sure maybe a couple more people this evening, but yeah, just settled in into an 80-degree night, ready for night 2.
Man, the weather's been so perfect.
It could have been ridiculous. Awful.
Yeah,
it could have been cold, raining, whatever, but
yeah, sunny, hot, like just absolutely beautiful.
A little more breeze last night too.
Yeah,
I felt it was a little bit more.
And the way that the venue is set up, the sun doesn't set, where it's beating down on you towards sunset. But so by the time you get in closer to showtime, we're already nicely in the shade. You don't need your sunglasses, and you're just vibing. It's good. But I'm not a vibes guy. Just in case anyone was confused.
Never.
Not made uncomfortable at all by those crisp 85-degree fall days. But yeah.
No, there's nothing. Whatever.
Doesn't mean anything.
Makes for a good show experience.
Yeah. It does for
hell of a show too.
Yeah, I mean, you really couldn't have asked for better weather for an outdoor show. I feel like that vibe is carried into the music. I mean, you guys are just crushing it out there. Really jealous.
It seems like they were more comfortable too. I know, and as we lead into the show, Ryan, you probably saw it a little closer, but a couple of sound issues I heard, or Rick's guitar was having some issues to start, so that's why they started like 10 minutes later.
I didn't hear that.
A couple of people were saying a lot of the techs were like messing with Rick's rig, levels, and then somebody had reported they like had to go off of like a wireless channel and go into another or something like that, but sort of explained the 10-minute later start.
Inside scoop here. That's good to know. So I'm hopeful for a closer to 6:30 start tonight, which is great. Luckily, they still time managed pretty well. Ran up closer to curfew, obviously, than they did on Wednesday.
Not a long set break.
Still felt like we got a full show. We did see, on the topic of the text on stage before the show, Dracula made an appearance. The guitar that is yet to be used on stage.
It
was getting tuned up. It's there.
So it's there in lieu of the old Hollow Body 2? Or
I'm going to guess that I think they both. From what we've seen, I think the PRS is backstage.
They had two. They had two. I saw another picture with somebody close, Ryan, and it actually, I don't know if it's on like the same guitar. It looked like he has like two. It wasn't the PRS. It had like the same look as this new one. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he has a backup basically that's more or less the same guitar, same color, wood tone.
Well, they had the Empress was also being like tuned up and whatever.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, the two DeLuises.
Yeah, I think Rick has like an acoustic and the PRS backstage, or maybe just the acoustic. But I'm sure the PRS is still like in a road case. I'm sure they still have it on tour.
I wonder what he did with Peter's old PRS, but I digress.
I'm sure that's still
We should
around
talk about
too.
the music.
You know,
a lot of guitar talk today.
Peter has a lot of guitars. We know he's gone through a whole bunch of them. But yeah, I digress. Let's talk about the music here. Let's dive in. First couple of songs here: Mr. Action and Draconian Meter Maid. I was very excited to catch this one live. Check it off the stats list. You know, that and Big Modern were the only ones that I hadn't seen yet. Got Big Modern at SPAC, got Draconian last night. This song has been stuck in my head for all of today. It sees you when you're sleeping, sees when you're awake, waiting at your meter. So don't be late. It's a really good song.
It's a good tune. It also has like, it was funny. We were by a guy and he was like, so yeah, good action. Of course, I know we jumped in, but I think that's a great opener. Always. I felt an action opener, 8-pointer, you know, you're just like, it seemed right. And then when they started Draconian, this guy was like, is this bathtub gin? Because it kind of has that like like sort of the little slinky. And fun one to catch live. A lot of different tempos kind of changing when you see it. I mean, obviously I'd listen to it, but and I thought a good little, like just looking at the time, a little less than 14 minutes, but it was a very efficient jam too. Just like solid. I felt it had a little action in it.
This one's going to get out there more, I think, as tour goes on. You know, like, I mean, the jam potential is amazing. And I love the kind of early compositional part. You know, you get into that kind of like driving clav section and then it just drops into this, you know, airy jam space to start, which I really like kind of how it follows the different parts of the song. Neil, what do you think?
Yeah, man, this one's has proven to be a jammer. So, and it's a nice first set jammer. So, you know, it's going to fill that slot, and they need more songs to fill that slot. There's only so many like second song, All I Needs or Time to Fleas you can play.
Sure.
Right. So this is another one that kind of fills that category. And I like that instead of like 3 straight openers with no jam.
Yeah.
So
now
bring it.
On another note, on slotting songs, I'm waiting for Goose to realize that they can play any song anywhere and like, you know, like throw a Thatch in that slot every once in a while.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, we had Hot Tea in a weird slot, you know.
Exactly.
I mean,
open a show with Arcadia, you know, like do something crazy like that.
Maybe tonight.
That'd be very cool. Goose, if you're watching. Anyway, continuing the set, we get a very nice Indian River here. Similar to Boston, you know, we get the Delta, and then we get a few minutes of really good jamming. The back end, you know, you get into that like Reba zone, cross-eyed intro, what have you, but just gorgeous bliss here. Neil, you were tweeting actively.
I was freaking out. Well, I thought this, so, you know, the goddamn Reba jam, you baited me into that. And
you were like, he's like, give me the cross-eyed. I saw it last night.
Oh man, you know, I hate calling
jam.
It's a 2-chord major key jam that they play before they play Cross-Eyed and Painless.
Yeah,
sounds a little bit like Reba, but there have been times in the past where they've played it and you're like, well, this is just part of the jam of the song. This one actually felt like there was a genuine transition here into Cross-Eyed and Painless, and I was like, hell yes. And I had called this. I said 2 things yesterday. One, that they're going to have to pull some covers out of like the bag, as it were, and play them. And then 2, that we're probably going to, yes. And we're probably going to get a Factory Fiction on this run. And so one of those things really happened. Like really, really happened. And then like, I don't know, I'm not writing off Cross-Eyed and Painless completely for this run. They need something big. So it could be happening tonight.
I feel like it'd be fun to see that again. Because Boulder was the last time, right?
Yeah. And we got a bust out from Boulder, you know, yesterday. Well,
that's what I was going to say is like, there is a big bust out cover from the same show last time they played Cross-Eyed. So the wheels were turning in my head last night that Cross-Eyed was going to pop up at any moment. Still might be any day now. I don't know. But the jam was killer. Like, you know, you can slap that onto anything and it sounds sick. So
I thought it was good
Indian River, like hell yeah. That's so good.
And I thought the Delta was like nice. It maybe didn't like stick in that vein too long, which can sometimes happen where it gets a little stale, and they kind of transitioned out of it well. I thought just and pushed it was beautiful. I was way up top at the top bar for Indian River hanging with Mads. And then we caught Western Sun too, but it was great. I mean, beautiful night, breeze, just looking down at everybody. The city is lit up. Yeah. It was fun. kept the flow going. Felt proper here, but like didn't feel like a slowdown, which Indian River can a little bit maybe.
Yeah, Indian River's been really good.
I think the delta makes it lift the energy back up too.
And
it doesn't really like settle.
It hasn't been overstaying its welcome at all this year, which is one of our biggest complaints about this in the past. So I think they've been doing a really good job of delta, but then it's delta, and then moving on from the delta before it really, it's like, why are we still playing delta? That was good. But let's talk about the main event of this set that came next. It's Julian Lage sit-in. Peter, really nice introduction about how they saw him play at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Connecticut. There's Mads again.
During the Chateau sessions.
Back in the spring, when they were rehearsing at the Chateau. And I guess, they kind of looked at dates. They were like, hey, we're going to be in Chicago. You want to come? He's going to be in Chicago. He's playing at Talia Hall tonight. Nice. So if for some reason you're watching this podcast and you're in Chicago and you're not going to Goose, my first thing would be go to Goose. And my second thing, if you're still not going to go to Goose, go see Julian Lage.
Talia Hall is a great venue too.
But he comes out and, wow.
Yes.
What a sit-in.
Seemed a little nervous too.
He brought the Milwaukee internet with him.
Though, like we my bad.
No, you're good. I think you're back with us.
Yeah, I think you're back.
Yeah. But I was saying he seemed like people were saying he seemed a little nervous getting on. I mean, it's bigger setting than he's used to probably, right? Like he plays like some nicer, smaller theaters and stuff like that. And oh, cool. Yeah.
That's
Casey Musgraves was in last night.
And the Selkooth Quartet's here tonight too. That's like disrespectful that they're playing on the same night as Goose because I want to see.
Yeah. It was great though. Good tune. They hit the composed section really well, and then we were off. I mean,
yeah, amazing.
Jazz back and forth.
Neil, you had a good point in the chat this morning about how good the Telecaster sounded.
Yeah,
man, it sounds so good next to like everything that Goose has going on. I mean, I have watched like interviews with Julian Lage, and he talks about like why he's chosen the Telecaster, which is an incredibly awkward instrument for a jazz musician to play. He's changed the pickups and some things, but he's talked like about why he's chosen this. There's a good YouTube video out there of him talking about it with like a music producer, and one of the reasons is like he's like it just always fits. Like no matter what I'm doing or who I'm playing with, it fits because it's just a versatile instrument. And like last night proved that. It was just gorgeous and sounded so good, even more so in the Turn Clouds that comes later, the solo one that was just like, oh, so good. I mean, what a great musician. Really, really a big fan of his music. And, I believe there is some cross-pollination there from Berkeley. I believe Rick and he were at Berkeley at the same time, which would also mean Jeff was probably there at the same time as well. So that's pretty interesting stuff. But I mean, Goose never has sit-ins. It always feels like it's somebody like, Trey or like,
it's never Joy. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. We're like, yeah, it's like never anybody who's like totally out of left field. And this one like actually kind of felt like that. And like, I love this kind of sit-in. And yeah, so just backing up a few steps, the way his guitar sounded next to Rick's sounded just right. Like you would think it would be a little bit awkward. It would be thin next to like the much fatter tone that Rick is going for with the Empress there, but nah, man, it was killer.
It provided good balance too. His like the sort of it was a good dichotomy of like their sounds. I felt like, and when they were trading off, you had some good clips of it, Ryan. But just listening to each other, and as good podmate Kev said last night, he's Rick's minding his P's and Q's, like giving each other space. They were very like respectful of him on stage too, which I feel like they always are with people that sit in and are going to play versus just vocalists.
Sure. And great point here from Matthew Taylor in the chat. Nice not hearing Allman's vibe from a guitar sit-in. No, this is serious. Like as cool as the Allman Brothers
coming together and building.
Yeah, and that's awesome. But that's a very good observation that a lot of times when you hear when a guitar sit-in happens, especially in our sphere of scene, even thinking with the Billy Strings with Fish sit-in in August, like, they were going for that for a while. And, Trey and Rick were doing that when they're playing together. And last night was just like, we're going to do a bunch of cool jazzy shit. And there are a couple of moments, like there's that one moment in the Western Sun Jam where they kind of link up on this like little kind of build thing. But that's like the only time that they were really, like doing that kind of interplay. There was a lot of like dancing around each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool getting to watch, all of them geek out about it. There's this one run in a Western Sun where Julian just goes on this crazy, like atonal jazzy spree for like 15 seconds. And and then Rick is, huge grin on his face. I think I maybe yelped at that time when he did that. Yeah, it was like that specific moment like blew my mind. I love hearing that kind of playing in a Goose song.
Yeah. Something different. It sort of felt like when they brought Grippo up. I know it's a little bit maybe more in the mold, but just like has brought a sound. These two sit-ins now, when I think about them, are pretty unique in all these years we've had the sit-ins. And like we said, few. I mean, what, 10 total? Maybe not a ton, like over the last 4 or 5 years. I guess you got Big Boy in there too, so maybe that's another I forgot. See, like that's the flip side of it, which is cool.
So wait, hold up. So I just want to say this comment out loud. So Marty says Julian seemed to give permission to embrace dissonance, and it was glorious. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So when you listen to this, like it might not be the most perfect sounding thing, and in fact, like at times it sounds pretty raw.
Yeah.
And I love the hell out of the fact that it sounded raw and very different. Having a completely different take on Turd and Clouds and Western Sun, for that matter, the intro. I mean, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like absolutely incredible. And I think the other thing that it did, and actually before this started, we were kind of saying this, Adam and I beforehand, where like Rick hit the Schofield button before Julian even came on stage, and it was just like ripping the Schofield style licks like the rest of the show. So it definitely like colored the performance of the whole entire show. So I mean, excellent sit-in for that.
Yeah, and I love when a sit-in or a musical moment like this kind of forces the band into think in a different space. Like I think Rick gets comfortable in the zones that he knows and he's really good at, which obviously we know he's really fucking good at. But when he gets, inspired to play in this jazzier zone, like we'll talk about when we get to like the Thatch in the second set. I feel like there's some different kind of playing, especially for that song, like that comes as a result of playing with Julian. I heard from someone that during sound check, like the two of them were like really, really getting into it. So it's cool for him again, not playing with, another jam band guitarist. As cool as that always is, puts him in a different light, puts him in a different mode, puts him, out of his comfort zone while, he went to Berkeley and obviously he can hang, but this is not the kind of music that he's playing most of the time. Matthew Taylor, I agree. Bring back Sko Mule
tonight.
Bring
it back tonight.
Years. Yeah, please.
Somebody should tweet about it.
You've been pretty good with manifesting things lately.
Yeah, no, once and only once.
We just need that dragonfly still.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, you guys, any more thoughts on the sit-in before we move on here?
No, man. I don't think we can talk about that one much more. We've said a lot of words.
Yeah,
it was absolutely sick.
Good.
And I hope something like that happens again.
Yeah.
Nice flow in.
Hey, Julian, if you want to skip your show and come back to Salt Shed tonight, would not be opposed.
Yep, would not.
They're probably starting later at Talia Hall, so maybe he can come again.
Yeah, pop in for the opener. Rip a little switching.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah. There we go.
Hey, now.
Yeah.
Short rest.
Neil's getting on a flight to Chicago now.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right. Well, set break. I came back. Hit the bathroom, of course, but came back. Said hi to you guys. I don't think I saw you at set break, but I came back and said hi to the crew who's by the soundboard. Vibes were high. We were glowing after that sit-in. Shout out to fierce critic of the pod, B Dunn. Notoriously does not like sit-ins and thinks they're not proper Goose. And we joked that this was right in the sweet spot where the sit-in was amazing, but nothing is going to make the bracket from it, so he doesn't have to worry.
He can rest easy.
He can rest easy.
Yeah.
So many words will not have to be typed into Twitter and group chats.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll find something else.
I'll find a way.
Yeah. But yeah, set break vibes again, super high. Just really, really excited for what was to come in the second set. And I mean, they delivered. This set is awesome.
Yeah.
How long was set break?
Like
Probably
I
another
feel like it was
25,
another 20
27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
these
timely.
short set breaks are like they're killing me on couch tour, man. Usually, like set break, I'm getting stuff done, I'm like doing things, and like I have it like going in the background, and then like, yeah, man, can't get anything done these days. That's my complaint. You know, you got to sit there and you got to watch the whole thing.
Goose. Yeah.
Yeah, God damn it.
Start being more irresponsible with your time again, so Neil can do more during set.
We have
break.
nothing to complain about. Also, you know,
Yeah,
you know,
Goose, dicks, stop playing so well. Well, second set here opens with Yeti, Pumped Up Kicks. Yeti, first time since December 18th, 2022 at the Fox in Boulder. 122 shows. Thank you, Mads. He yelled Yeti in the background. This is, I mean, this was
good.
Great pairing.
I like this.
Yeah.
I thought they found and we had thought Draconian, first time I heard it, it kind of starts with a Yeti, like they're like and almost gets into that. Like when they started up Meter Maid, I was like, oh, Yeti. And then they did it here, of course. And it was like, okay, now it's coming. I thought once they left the Yeti composed section, you could tell they were already like setting up for the pumped up kicks, but just like 4 on the floor, kind of just way different than maybe they've done so far with Cotter. The Yetis have been great this year, as we've talked about a lot. But this one also felt a unique vibe to it, which is good. It's like we said, some of these, I saw a post, I mean, you know, whether it's Yeti, Tumble, Arrow is back, like just a lot of songs that Cotter's added a good element to and sort of ability for them to explore these songs in different ways. And yeah, the Yeti just sort of got right into it. And then you could hear it. It was like, is this going to be Kylie? Is this like, I was like, is this Pumped Up Kicks?
Little bit of a second of Kylie in there.
I had a little Kylie, fake out sort of in my mind. And then you could hear the transition into Pumped Up Kicks. And no, I mean, I love this. One of my favorite versions, I think, is 10, 17, 20 Frederick, the Into the Mist kicks.
Yeah.
That's really good too. Like sort of hits a similar vibe here. And hit the song well. Everyone was singing, like everybody in the place. I was, kind of middle, right in front of soundboard with Jesse, Brittany, a couple of their crew. And then slammed right back into Yeti, and then kicked it out for a little longer too, because they could have just kind of wound it down right there for a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Sure, which they have done in the past. Yep. But yeah, there was a little extra improv. They were loving it. Just great dance party to start off the set. Getting back into Goose mode after playing a bunch of jazz.
Yeah, it was great though.
Yeah, man. Only thing to add is that Love is a Battlefield kind of jam. The Love is a Yeti Field that goes in there.
Yeah,
it's two versions now. 2 versions that they've done it, and absolutely killer stuff. I don't know. Yeti's a banger now. Again, Yeti was like a banger, then it stopped being a banger. It's back to being a banger again.
But it had been like 4 years, 2019, 5 years, where it like was doing something different, which is good to see. And I'm sure it's always nice when the band can challenge themselves too, because if you're just going to play an 8-minute version, like we know they have those, but I think they always do try to challenge themselves to push those little pieces, and we're seeing that a lot more, which is good.
Yeah, man.
100%. And then I was figuring this was coming tonight, but we get.
I thought it was tonight too.
Yeah, we get Thatch. I just love. I mean, I say this every time they play it, but the crowd reaction after like the first note of the song. I love, I said to Mads earlier, I was like, I can hear Thatch at every show. Like it's the best. I actually, when I was watching back this morning while I was writing about the show, I caught myself on the webcast during the first verse. You can see me singing very loudly.
You're never singing.
Oops.
We don't sing. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this Thatch is amazing. This is like
different.
I feel like it's like the third consecutive one or fourth consecutive one to like kind of live in that like 19-ish minute range. Not quite hitting 20, but I think they're really killing it here. And we get nice little type 1 section, and then they modulate to major and just bring it way down for a little while, which I thought was really cool. I think this version maybe suffers from a little bit too much, just like type 1 jamming at the beginning and at the end.
Mm.
Not, and by suffers, I mean in terms of the ranking on my playlist. This is an excellent version. But this middle section, when they really bring it down, yeah.
It was good. It was different. Like we said, and Neil, you had mentioned, or you too, Ryan, but yeah, definitely could feel the Julian's impact playing maybe the practice before the sound check, sort of Rick just taking a little bit more jazzy, atonal, different approach to some of it as they broke it down and kind of just weaving little notes and runs in there. And it was great. I thought, yeah, I didn't really expect it, but it's always nice to hear. And like we've said, just a different take on it. Crowd favorite though, of course, too. Everybody loved it. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing about this Thatch is if you go back and listen to some of the original versions of Thatch, the best versions were the ones that like found the best groove. So I think back to like the Ryman Thatch, which is just fantastic groove in that. This one has an excellent groove section. I think the one thing that everybody wants to talk about when they talk about this Thatch is the Bliss jam that's in there. But the groove that comes before it is like, as far as Thatches go, one of the better kind of groovier sections that they've had in a while. So I thought that was absolutely killer. I tweeted about it today. I was driving into work, listening to the show and listening to that Thatch. And like, I did the classic, like pull into the parking lot at work and like, there's no way I'm getting out of this car until the song is over. Not a chance. And I was about, just right when that groove section started, like when I pulled in. So I was like initially rocking out. And then it kind of goes into that really floaty, vibey section.
Trevor.
And then I'm just like vibing the fuck out in my car at like 7-something this morning. And like, people are like pulling into the parking lot, showing up to work and like, what the fuck is he doing? And so I'm just having the best time, dude. You have no idea. This is a killer Friday morning. Absolutely killer. But yeah, so this jam is awesome. Absolutely killer.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And then we get into the red bird next.
Bird. Yep.
Little saucy bird right here. Oh, baby.
Nasty.
All over.
I wish it had gone on a little longer. I think like we had said, and like I'm not taking anything away. We talk about efficient jams. This was as good of 6 minutes of solid jamming at the end that just huge sauce. Very nice like cotter fills as we've sort of seen with it, bopping along real hard. And then it was, they just like kind of killed it real fast where it sort of felt like it could have kept going another 3 or 4 minutes. Mm-hmm. But no, not I think it was sort of similar to what was that? The Wisteria the night before. We had some of the longer sauce patches that sort of like felt bigger.
Yeah. Same effect last night. Sure.
Same effect last night in the bird. And I can't wait to hear this again. I haven't listened back, but I can only imagine just Rick's section there in those 2 minutes is just nuts.
Yeah, going back this morning, it's that grittier digital sauce sound is so good.
Yeah,
it's so
more
good.
Sauce.
Keep bringing more sauce. Yeah,
drench.
We'll take it. Yeah, I kept the vibes going too.
Oh, for sure. Neil, you got anything to add?
No, nothing really to add there. I mean, this was on the edge of being an incredible version. It just is the run-of-the-mill awesome version of Redbird. I mean, like, I don't know. It's so weird. It's just like it never misses.
From how long it didn't. If it would have pushed, it could have become one of the better versions, maybe. But
yep.
But I'll listen. This set is just so good. I think the way it fits into the whole flow of the set after the Thatch, and then as we pick it up next, unexpected for me at least. What we had next.
Yeah. I mean, I also love the unexpected. People are always calling it like the last night of a run.
Yeah,
here's the Factory Fiction, here's the big song being played on night 3. And so I love that they did it on night 2. Also, thank God the Mutron is back, because the Factory Fiction intro does not hit the same way when Rick does not have the Mutron. And last night it sounded unbelievable. Oh, baby. This was great. Lyrical hiccup. It was pretty funny. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier. Hiccup.
That's the noun you've chosen,
right? It was funny,
and then we ran it, back, which was the best part.
Well, I love that. He sometimes he'll like fuck up like one line and then just keep going.
Yeah,
whatever. But I love that he like completely botched the entire couple of lines there, and it was just like I can do that shit again. And then, he was kind of standing there like looking at Peter. And like I was watching on the webcast this morning, you can see Peter goes into his talkback mic and reminds him what the
He's like, do it again.
That's classic. He does have the iPad
he's got
there.
Well, he has the teleprompter.
He's got the huge one.
But I think that he has to manually go and select the song.
Oh, okay.
Which I guess he didn't have it ready or something. They
need
to hire Mads. Mads can get that queued up for him.
Yeah.
Somebody said, so Lucas, another good kid, he said it was like Rick versus the Factory Fiction or like his own lyrics, the battle of the century.
Yeah. Rick versus lyrics that he wrote.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was fun to see. I think that sort of like, right, he's so in the zone. It was just like that whole set and the whole night.
Yeah.
And just
we were talking about how when he, screwed up the lyrics
totally
to Drive at SPAC, it was like, he and Peter had just been like really in the zone on some guitar interplay stuff. And then he like went back and he was like, oh yeah, I have to sing, but his brain was not there.
No. But great version. They've been kind of slowing it down a little bit more too. I think the composed section, love the little dropout that they've added to the last lyric. And then, sort of settle the jam down and everyone's like, oh, it's ending. And you're like, no. And then it just lift off. Really fun.
They did skip one part of the ending, like the
okay.
Like that kind of like vampy part. They just went.
They did. They wound it down.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, it crushed. Also, it was just funny. Like we don't get a lot of slop from Goose. But it was funny after the lyrics, like Cotter missed a cue, which like that, then Peter laughed at. But it was, not like anything that like derailed the song, and most people I'm sure probably didn't notice it. But when you listen to every note that Goose plays like we do, I was like, ooh, like little hiccup.
Yeah, just having fun.
Yeah, exactly. They're just having a great time up there.
Not to derail the conversation, but like I can't not bring this up as we're talking here, but like Mads just walking back and forth like he's working in the meme factory behind you throughout this whole entire podcast is the most fucking hilarious thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because like he's just like busy. Like I don't know what it is that he's doing. He can only be
photoshopping my
memes.
shoes.
He's getting ready, having a couple pre-show beers in a good way.
We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Right on. Sorry, had to be said.
No, it's okay. Any more thoughts on this Factory Fiction?
No, it was fire, and it had to be done. And actually, what this Factory Fiction tells me is that they were thinking about all 3 nights when they wrote the Night One set list.
Sure,
had to have been done. There's no way they like painted themselves into a corner and then we're like, oh shit, guys, like night 2, like we're gonna have to play Factory because we got other jammers.
Yeah, they really have nothing left for tonight.
Well, I mean, like you think about it, you play like your biggest jammers all in one night, right? Like the 2 guaranteed hits in one night, then you got to be creative about how you do the remaining 2 nights. And like the tour goes on after Chicago also. So I don't know, it just tells me that they were really thinking about the 3 nights like as a whole instead of just like doing them one off.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sort of reacting to each set list. And then good great encore.
Yeah, good, great.
It felt really. It was a good pick for the show as a whole.
I'm loving this new Slow Ready where Peter gets to play phaser piano on it because it really enhances the jam. Shout out to Sideways Hat Cotter. The man must be stopped.
That's right.
Okay, we need to put a stop to this before he becomes too powerful. Between the outfit last night on Wednesday night with the sunglasses only for media. He was wearing sunglasses. There was one, I want to say it was.
He wore sunglasses. He wore sunglasses too.
For the second set last night.
Okay, yeah.
But there was one point during Factory where they were like kind of falling down to like the end of his nose.
Bridge of his nose.
I was kind of laughing. Yeah, and I was kind of laughing because he's playing like this for a while, and I could tell he's just thinking like, I need to fix my sunglasses, but I can't stop drumming. Like
he would have to like whip his head to the side and just throw him off, to the side. Yeah.
Go into the talk bag, call the drum tech over, be like, I need you to remove my sunglasses.
We had I think So aside from the only set list, we had one in, one out into Satellite at the end of the first.
Yes.
And I thought the Slow Ready had like the intro to it. And I guess that's probably, like you said, because Peter now has that arpeggiator patch, it sounds like it's a little bit of a different intro to that last jam section. So maybe it sort of had those, I mean, yeah, you could see what they were probably trying to go with like the one in into the Satellite, and then you're going to play Slow Ready, right? So that's like a very, like you said, Neil, conscious set list decision to say like So Ready, Slow Ready again, which they've only done that in one show once or something, like the end of it, and then
I think they've
the end of So or Slow or
Ready
something.
and Satellite only a couple of times in the past. I think in like 2018.
Or the So Slow they've done before once or twice. Yeah.
I'm just interested in the fact that they're still feeling like they want to finish the So Ready from SPAC, which was now 6 days ago.
That's true.
I think that's interesting that that's still a thing that they're thinking about.
Do it tonight.
Like they've done that a couple of times before, but I don't know if they've done it across so many shows. Now they've tried it twice. So we'll see if we get that tonight.
So I don't want to fan any flames here, Ryan. But I do want to point this out, that it seems that there's division in the Goose setlist writing camp even about whether or not Satellite is a song or if it's the end of So Ready. So,
well, it is the end of So Ready. It's just whether you call it So Ready ending or Satellite. It doesn't change whether it's a song or not.
Even though it's tracked differently, right, Neil?
Yeah. I'm just saying, somebody wrote on the set list a couple nights ago as end of So Ready, and then last night it was Satellite. So there's division there. So even within the Goose camp, folks are disagreeing about the ends of songs. I just want
where did they have end of So Ready?
The other night, was it Charlottesville?
Charlottesville?
Yeah, I think it was.
I didn't see that set list, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's funny. We are that they put it both the same name, different way. End of SOS.
End of SOS. Exactly. Okay. All right, Neil. Let's be careful of what we're highlighting here, please.
Oh no, that was definitely on purpose.
All right. Well, we're going in tonight. They're going to open the show with Dripfield. You heard.
Who's ready for night 3?
All right, Neil, get that garbage off my screen.
I think we got a drive opener tonight, but that's okay. We'll do.
Listen, whatever they're going to play tonight is going to be amazing because it's night 3. Weather's going to be beautiful.
Weather's going to be good again.
Yeah, like let's go. We're ready to do it again. And then the band's heading out to Minneapolis and Iowa this weekend. And linking back up in Utah on Tuesday.
For all those two, Hot Like Mars after party.
Yes.
So because we got the show ending at 10, which of course due to the curfew of outdoors tonight, there's an after. Yeah, it's nice at some point, especially for the people that were working all week. But so we got at the IO Theater, a 10-minute walk away. Rivka Ruth opening, Becky, Peter's girlfriend, and then Hot Like Mars after. There's some rumors on the street of some wink wink special guests. So definitely get your tickets. Should be easy to get over there for everybody. Don't need to get a ride. Shout out to the Hot Like Mars guys, good dudes. And we're excited to be there. So definitely come see us, tonight, late night.
I'm excited that the after show starts at 10:30.
Yeah. Versus like
sometimes the show ends at 11:30, and then it's like, all right, the afters start at 12:30 and go until 3. And then it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. But I'm looking forward to tonight. Hot Like Mars is a blast. It's going to be great. IO Theater, vibes are going to be high. And for all those wondering, speaking of Mads, who's been walking back and forth, I don't know if it's been claimed yet, but one lucky person can win an evening with Mads. He's got an extra ticket to Goose and an extra ticket to Hot Like Mars. The only caveat is you have to spend the whole time with him, and you must buy him at least 7 beers.
Yeah,
but
he is from Wisconsin.
If you want that experience and you want to be the lucky winner of an evening with Mads, hit him up on Twitter. He's got extras.
There you go.
Anyway, I'm getting ready.
Pleasure, boys.
To head down. It has been a pleasure as always, gentlemen. We will be back tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 Eastern to recap tonight's show.
2:30 Central.
2:30 Central. Thank you for the local time correction. Everybody enjoy your Friday, whatever you're doing. Of course, we will see you out there at the shed shortly. Anything else to add? Anyway?
Thanks for coming. Mushrooms.
Neil? No, it looked like Neil was going to say something. All right.
No.
We will see you guys